My friend, let me start by asking you a question. What if I told you that the difference between where you are today and your first $1 million is not your education, not your background, not even your current bank balance, but your words? Your mouth is the steering wheel of your life. It is the GPS that directs your destiny. The universe, created by God Himself, was designed to respond to sound. Before there was money, before there were systems, before there was business, there were words. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. Everything you see was first spoken before it appeared. Most people are living broke, not because they lack talent, but because they allow their lips to testify against their own future. They keep saying, "I will never have enough. Money doesn't come to people like me. Life is too hard." And the universe obeys their negative decrees. But there is another group of people, small yet powerful, who have learned that wealth responds to voice. They speak abundance, they command provision, they decree prosperity, and then government goes to their confession. Today, I want to show you how to command your first $1 million from the universe with your words. This is not a game of empty affirmations. It is a divine principle rooted in creation itself. Stay with me, because by the time we finish, you will never speak carelessly about money again. We are going to walk through 8 powerful revelations. Each one is like a key that unlocks a vault. And if you hold these keys, no one can stop you from stepping into abundance. So get ready, open your spirit, clear your distractions, and lean in, because this message may be the turning point that moves you from lack into overflow. A quick reminder, the link to my second channel is in the bio and also in the pinned comment of this video. Make sure to check it out after watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this message so more people can step into financial freedom. And comment, just one word, comment below to seal this teaching in your spirit. Words are not empty. They are creative forces. Every empire was built first in speech before it was built in stone. When you look at the universe itself, it was spoken into existence. Let there be light. That wasn't a suggestion. It was a command. Light obeyed, creation obeyed, wealth obeys in the same way. Think about the power of contracts. A business deal isn't sealed with bricks or gold. It's sealed with words on paper. Nations rise and fall on speeches. Revolutions begin with declarations. Families are destroyed or healed by sentences. If words can move armies and legislate laws, why wouldn't they be able to call wealth into your life? The universe operates on frequencies, and words are carriers of frequency. When you speak, you release vibrations that align with opportunities, people, and circumstances. For example, a person who constantly says, "I can't afford this," this trains their subconscious to reject opportunities for wealth. They don't even see the doors opening in front of them. But someone who says, "I always attract financial opportunities," begins to notice investments, conversations, and ideas they previously ignored. That's not coincidence. It's the law of words at work. Science backs this up. Neuroscience has proven that language shapes thought, and thought shapes behavior. A study published in Frontiers in Psychology found that the words we habitually use restructure neural pathways, altering our perception of what is possible. In simple terms, if you say it long enough, your brain believes it. And when your brain believes it, your actions follow. But here's the deeper truth. The universe doesn't distinguish between joking and seriousness. Every word you release is taken as instruction. That's why wealthy people guard their language carefully. They never say, "I'm broke." Instead, they might say, "I'm temporarily low on cash flow." Why? Because they know that to declare broke is to command scarcity, but to declare temporary is to command a turnaround. Let me give you a story. Years ago, a man named George was drowning in debt. Credit cards, mortgage, car payments. He would complain daily, "I'm always in debt. I'll never get ahead." One day, he stumbled across the principle of commanding wealth through words, skeptical but desperate. He began saying every morning, "I am wealthy. Money flows to me easily. I am debt-free." At first, nothing happened. But after weeks of repetition, he started to feel a shift inside. Instead of spending recklessly, he began saving. Instead of ignoring opportunities, he started noticing side jobs and investments. In 2 years, George paid off $100,000 of debt and launched a business. His words rewired his reality. This is the foundation. Your first million starts with your mouth. Don't wait for money to show up before you speak like a millionaire. Speak like one now. Your words are your down payment for wealth. Practical application starting today. Eliminate poverty language from your vocabulary. Never again say, "I can't afford it." Replace it with, "I choose not to spend on this right now." Never say, "I'm broke," and replace it with, "I am wealthy and wealth is coming." Never say, "Money is hard to find." Replace it with, "Money comes to me easily and frequently." Speak these as commands, not requests. Speak them as if the universe has no choice but to obey, because it doesn't. Your tongue is a command center. And when you learn to use it with intention, your first million is not a dream. It is a spoken certainty. Imagine walking into a restaurant and telling the waiter, "Just bring me food." He stares at you confused, because food can mean 1,000 things. Do you want soup, steak, or dessert? Without clarity, he can't serve you. The universe functions in the same way. It doesn't respond to vague wishes. It responds to specific, crystal clear commands. When people say, "I want to be rich," that's too vague. Rich means different things to different people. For one person, rich may mean $10,000. For another, it's $10 million. If you don't define it, you'll drift through life desiring wealth, but never receiving it in measurable form. The universe requires clarity, because clarity gives direction to energy. Think about this. A river without banks becomes a flood. It destroys. But when that same water is channeled into clear boundaries, it becomes hydroelectric power. It lights up cities. Your words are the same. Without clarity, they scatter. With clarity, they focus. And focus attracts resources. Let me share a story. A woman named Clara once attended a wealth seminar. The speaker asked everyone to write down exactly how much money they wanted within 1 year. Clara hesitated. She had always said, "I want more money." But she had never written a figure. That day, she wrote down $50,000 in savings. She created a vision board, repeated affirmations daily, and acted with intention. A year later, she checked her account, $50,312. She burst into tears. That wasn't magic. That was the universe responding to clarity. Here's the principle. Vague words produce vague results, but precise words produce precise manifestations. Now, how does this work practically? When you speak about your first $1 million, don't just say, "I want a million." Define it. Ask yourself, do I want $1 million in cash, assets, or business value? Do I want it over 5 years or in a single breakthrough? What does my million look like? What does it do for me, my family, my community? Write it down and command it in detail. Instead of saying, "I want money," declare, "I command $1 million to enter my life through profitable business ventures, investments, and opportunities. I command financial mentors and networks to align with me and guide me into my million. I command wisdom to manage and multiply every dollar I receive." Notice the difference. One is a wish, the other is a military order. The universe doesn't move on wishes. It moves on orders. Clarity also protects you from distraction. Without a clear financial command, you'll chase every scheme and get rich, quick idea. But when you know exactly what you've spoken, you can filter opportunities. If it doesn't align with your $1 million vision, you don't waste energy. Even faith traditions reinforce this. Ancient texts say, write the vision, make it plain. Why? Because clarity anchors the invisible into the visible. When you write and speak clearly, your subconscious aligns, your habits align, and the universe aligns. Think of it this way. If you set your GPS to somewhere nice, you'll never arrive. But if you set it to 123 Main Street, it leads you step by step. Your words are your GPS. The clearer your command, the faster the routlet. Me warn you, most people don't lack money. They lack clarity. They want wealth. But they don't define it. They want success, but they don't specify it. And so they drift in circles, hoping for abundance while speaking confusion. Here's your assignment today. Sit down and write exactly what your first million looks like. Be detailed. Then turn that written clarity into spoken declarations. Speak them every morning and every night as if the universe has no option but to obey. Say it with precision. Say it with confidence. Say it with authority. Because the universe does not obey confusion. It only bows to clarity. There's a reason why two people can walk into the same room, hear the same conversation, and one walks out with $1 million opportunity, while the other walks out with nothing. The difference isn't luck, it's programming. And your words are the software that programs your subconscious mind. Your subconscious is like fertile soil. It doesn't argue, it doesn't debate. It simply receives whatever seeds you plant through repetition. If you constantly speak scarcity, I can't afford it. Money is hard to find. The rich get richer. The poor get poorer. You are planting weeds of limitation. The subconscious accepts those statements as truth and filters your reality to match them. But if you consistently declare wealth, I attract abundance daily. Opportunities chase me. I am a millionaire in training. You rewire your subconscious to recognize possibilities. Suddenly, ideas that once seemed invisible start to glow with clarity. You notice conversations, connections, and strategies you previously overlooked. Let's get practical. Have you ever bought a new car and then started seeing that exact model everywhere? It's not that everyone suddenly bought the same car, it's that your subconscious reticular activating system, RAS, has been programmed to notice it. The same thing happens with wealth. When you declare, I attract profitable opportunities, your RAS begins scanning your environment for anything that matches that command. A powerful study by Dr. Maxwell Maltz in Cybernetics revealed that the subconscious cannot distinguish between reality and vividly spoken or imagined words. This means if you say it long enough, your subconscious accepts it as reality and begins working to bring it into your experience. That's why athletes rehearse victories in their minds before they win them in real life. The same principle applies to money. Let me tell you about a man named Robert. He grew up in poverty, repeating the words, money doesn't grow on trees, and people like us never get ahead. As an adult, he worked hard, but never seemed to advance. One day, a mentor challenged him to change his language. Robert began affirming, I am surrounded by wealth opportunities. Money flows to me in creative ways. At first, it felt like a lie. But after weeks, he noticed a change. A coworker casually mentioned a real estate investment. Robert's subconscious flagged it. He researched, invested, and within 5 years built a portfolio worth over $2 million. His world didn't suddenly change. His programming did. Here's the truth. Opportunities are everywhere. But only those whose subconscious has been trained through words will see them. Your mouth is the steering wheel of your subconscious. If you direct it toward wealth, it will find ways to get you there. If you direct it toward poverty, it will faithfully deliver scarcity. This is why you must be relentless about the words you use. Don't just speak affirmations once a week. Speak them daily until they sink deep enough to shift your subconscious patterns. Repetition is the key. Your subconscious learns the same way children do, through constant reinforcement. Practical steps: choose specific wealth declarations. Example: I command my subconscious to recognize every profitable opportunity aligned with my $1 million vision. Speak them morning and night. The subconscious is most open when you wake up and before you sleep. Visualize while speaking. Pair your words with mental images of wealth. This strengthens the programming. Reject contradictions. If you slip and say, I'm broke, immediately cancel it by declaring, no, I am wealthy, and resources are flowing to me now. When you practice this, you'll start noticing a shift. The job opening that used to blend into the background will suddenly stand out. The casual conversation that once seemed irrelevant will now feel loaded with possibility. That's not magic. It's your subconscious obeying the words you planted. So understand this. Your $1 million won't just fall into your lap. It will come disguised as opportunities, ideas, and connections. And your subconscious will only recognize them if you've trained it with the right words. Your first million begins the moment. Your tongue teaches your mind what to look for. Your words don't just float into the air and vanish. They set into motion a chain reaction inside you. They align what you believe with what you do. And until belief and action come into agreement, wealth will always feel like a distant dream instead of a living reality. Let me explain. Many people say they want $1 million, but their actions betray them. They procrastinate, avoid risks, spend carelessly, and shy away from opportunities. Why? Because deep down, their beliefs do not match their desire. They say they want wealth, but they believe wealth is for others, not for them. Their subconscious tells them they are unworthy. And so their actions follow their true belief, not their words. But here is the power of speech. Words bridge the gap between belief and action. When you consistently declare wealth, your mind starts to adjust. Slowly, your subconscious beliefs catch up to your spoken reality. And once belief shifts, actions naturally align. Think of it like this. If you declare every day, I am disciplined with money and I multiply resources, eventually your brain starts to believe it. Then, when you're at the store, that subconscious belief nudges you to save instead of waste. When someone offers you a quick money scam, your trained belief whispers, that's not aligned with millionaire habits. Your words birthed a belief, and your belief corrected your behavior. Here's a story to make it clear. A young man named Daniel grew up hearing his parents argue about money. His father would say, we'll never get out of this hole. Those words sank deep into Daniel's belief system. As an adult, every time he made extra money, he would sabotage himself overspending, gambling, or procrastinating. Why? Because his belief system was programmed for lack. One day, a mentor told him, your words are keeping you poor. Start declaring a new reality. Daniel began saying daily, I am wealthy. I attract money. I manage resources with wisdom. Slowly, he noticed his habits shift. He cut unnecessary expenses. He started reading financial books. He pursued investment opportunities. Within a decade, Daniel transformed from drowning in debt to running $1 million business. His words created belief, and belief shaped action. This is the principle. You can't consistently speak wealth and act in poverty. The two will eventually align. Either your negative words will drag your actions down, or your positive declarations will lift your actions up. Even science confirms this. Psychologists call it cognitive dissonance. The discomfort we feel when our actions don't match our beliefs to resolve the tension. Either the belief changes or the action changes. When you declare with your words, I am wealthy, disciplined, and abundant, your subconscious begins to feel uncomfortable if your actions contradict that, so it pushes you toward alignment. This is how speech transforms your lifestyle. Now, let's apply it practically. Craft identity-based declarations. Don't just say, I want money. Say, I am a wealth creator. I am disciplined. I multiply resources. Repeat them until they feel normal. The goal is to make millionaire language your default setting. Monitor your actions. Each time you act against your declarations, pause and remind yourself of the identity you are creating. For example, if you waste money, correct yourself. No, that's not what a millionaire does. I am wise with resources. Celebrate small alignments. When you save, invest, or act with discipline, affirm it. This is proof my words are working. The truth is, wealth isn't just about big breakthroughs. It's about consistent alignment. Every declaration is like a compass pointing you toward your first million. And every aligned action moves you one step closer. Your first million won't arrive because you wished for it. It will arrive because your words reshaped your belief, and your belief reshaped your actions. That's how clarity turns into strategy, and strategy turns into results. So remember, every time you open your mouth, you are not only commanding the universe, you are commanding yourself. And when your tongue, your mind, and your actions march in the same direction, nothing can stop you from stepping into abundance. If you speak words once and expect $1 million to show up tomorrow, you will be disappointed. Wealth doesn't respond to one-time declarations. It responds to consistency. Repetition is the bridge that turns words into wealth. Think about how habits are formed. No one becomes physically fit by going to the gym once. It takes daily, consistent training. The same principle applies to your words. A single declaration plants a seed, but consistent repetition waters it until it grows into financial reality. Your subconscious mind and the universe both respond to persistence. The first time you say, I am wealthy, and money flows to me easily, it might feel awkward or even false. That's because your old programming is resisting. But when you repeat it daily, you chip away at doubt. You silence the old story of lack. You engrave a new story of abundance. Consistency is what separates dreamers from manifestors. Many people get excited, declare wealth for a week, then quit when they don't see instant results. But the universe doesn't bend to sporadic commands. It bends to sustained authority. Just as water shapes rock, not by force, but by persistence, your consistent words carve wealth into your reality. Here's a powerful story. A woman named Anita worked in a modest job, earning just enough to pay bills. She discovered the principle of wealth declarations and decided to test it. Every morning for 365 days, she declared, I am a millionaire. Money flows to me from expected and unexpected sources. At first, nothing happened. By month 3, she started noticing new opportunities, small freelance gigs, chances to invest, mentors appearing. By month 9, she landed a partnership that doubled her income. By year's end, she wasn't a millionaire yet, but she had $150,000 in savings and investments, far more than she ever imagined. She said, it wasn't the declaration once. It was the declaration every single day that shifted my life. Consistency also builds credibility with yourself. Each time you speak and follow through, you prove to your subconscious that you mean it. This builds confidence, and confidence attracts wealth. People with money can sense when someone is speaking from belief versus when they're speaking from desperation. Even nature teaches us this law. The sun doesn't rise once and disappear. It rises every day, consistently, creating life on earth. Seasons don't occur randomly. They cycle with precision. Rivers don't flow for a week and then stop. They keep moving until they carve valleys. Consistency is the rhythm of creation. If you want to command wealth, you must synchronize with that rhythm. Practical application. Create a daily wealth ritual. Set aside 5 fated minutes every morning and night to declare your financial affirmations. Speak them with intensity, not laziness. Use reminders. Put sticky notes on your mirror, your phone, wallpaper, or your desk with millionaire declarations. Let your eyes feed your tongue. Track your consistency. Mark each day you speak your declarations. Aim for streaks. The longer the streak, the stronger the programming. Persist beyond feelings. Some days you won't feel abundant. That's when consistency matters most. Declare anyway. Words don't wait for emotions. They create them. Here's the secret. Wealth isn't commanded by the loudest declaration, but by the longest one. Not the one who shouts for a week, but the one who whispers daily for years. Your $1 million doesn't show up when you speak once. It shows up when you refuse to stop speaking until reality bows. Consistency turns words into faith, faith into action, and action into wealth. It is the glue that holds the process together. Without it, your declarations are like seeds scattered in the wind. With it, your declarations become roots, trees, and harvests of abundance. So never underestimate the power of repeating the same wealth declaration day after day. What feels small today becomes massive tomorrow. What feels like words today becomes wealth tomorrow. Your first million is not far. It is only a few consistent declarations away. Money doesn't fall from the sky. It flows through people. Every dollar you will ever earn is currently in someone else's hands. That means your first million will come through relationships, partnerships, and networks. And here is the key. Your words determine who you attract and who you repel. Words are magnets. When you declare wealth, you vibrate at a frequency that draws people aligned with abundance. But when you constantly complain, gossip, or speak doubt, you attract others who think small, act small, and live small. Your circle will always mirror your language. Think of it like this. If you walk into a room and confidently declare, "I am building $1 million business that impacts lives," you immediately attract curiosity. People who resonate with ambition will lean in. They'll want to partner, invest, or support. But if you walk in saying, "Life is hard, I'm broke, and nothing works out," those with abundance will quietly walk away. Not because they're cruel, but because they know words reveal mindset, and mindset reveals destiny. Here's a story. Years ago, a young entrepreneur named James struggled to get investors for his startup. At every pitch, his words were filled with fear. "I hope this works. I think it might succeed. Maybe one day it will grow." Investors could sense the doubt. They rejected him over and over. Then, a mentor challenged James to change his language. At the next pitch, he declared with boldness, "This company will revolutionize the industry. This business will produce millions. I am building a legacy." His confidence shifted the atmosphere. Within months, he secured multiple investors and scaled his company into a multi-million-dollar success. What changed? Not the product, his words. And his new words attracted new partners. This principle is universal. Wealthy people want to be around those who speak wealth. Leaders want to align with leaders. Visionaries want to connect with visionaries. Your words are the handshake that introduces you before any business card or resume does. Even ancient wisdom teaches this. Life and death are in the power of the tongue. That means relationships live or die by words. Partnerships thrive or dissolve because of what you say. If you want million-dollar networks, speak million-dollar language. Speak your vision publicly. Don't hide your goals. Share them with boldness. You'll be surprised how often the right person overhears and offers a connection. Use inclusive language. Say things like, "Together we can create abundance," or "I attract people who share my vision." This makes others feel part of your wealth journey. Eliminate toxic speech. Never badmouth others. Complain about money or mock success. Those words repel the very people who could help you. Affirm the type of people you want. Declare daily, "I attract wise mentors, wealthy partners, and loyal allies who align with my vision. Let me give you a modern example. Networking platforms like LinkedIn are flooded with professionals. The difference between those who attract partnerships and those who don't often comes down to language. Someone who writes, looking for any job, desperate for work, rarely gets opportunities. But someone who confidently declares, I help businesses multiply profits through strategy and innovation, attracts endless connections. Same platform, different words, different results. Your words create a gravitational pull. They either pull wealth, builders toward you, or push them away. Your million-dollar partnerships are not far. They are waiting to hear the language of abundance from your mouth. So ask yourself, what do people feel when they hear me speak? Do they hear fear or faith? Do they hear limitation or expansion? Do they hear smallness or greatness? Remember this, people of wealth are allergic to negative words, but they are attracted like iron to a magnet when they hear conviction, clarity, and vision. If you want million-dollar connections, you don't need to beg, chase, or manipulate. You only need to speak. Speak your vision with clarity. Speak your goals with authority. Speak your future as if it already exists. Because when your words rise to the frequency of wealth, the right people will rise to meet you there. Every system in life operates on laws. Gravity is a law. You don't have to believe in it for it to work. Planting and harvest is a law. Whatever you sow, you reap. Wealth also operates under laws. And one of the most powerful is this. Your words return to you multiplied. Think of words as seeds. Every declaration you make is a deposit into the soil of the universe. If you plant seeds of abundance, you receive abundance back. If you plant seeds of lack, you receive lack back. The universe is not biased. It simply returns what you consistently send. This is why people who constantly say, I'm broke, continue to stay broke. Their words are planting scarcity. And because words are never idle, those seeds eventually produce a harvest of more financial struggle. But those who say, I am wealthy, I am abundant, I always have more than enough, begin to harvest opportunities, ideas, and resources that match those declarations. Let's take an everyday example. Imagine two employees at the same company. Both earn the same salary. One constantly complains, this job never pays enough. I'll never get ahead. The other consistently declares, I am valuable. My work attracts increase. Promotion and opportunity chase me. A year later, the first employee is still in the same position, still bitter, still broke. The second employee is promoted, noticed, and offered new doors. Why? Their words activated the law of return. One sowed limitation, the other sowed increase. Here's a story that makes it clear. A man named Carlos lived in a small town and worked as a mechanic. For years, he repeated, business is slow, people don't pay, I'll never make it big. His shop barely survived. Then one day, after hearing about the power of declarations, he began to change his words. Every morning he spoke, my business attracts loyal customers. I provide value that multiplies, money flows into my shop. Slowly, referrals increased. Within 3 years, Carlos expanded into 2 more shops and crossed his first million in revenue. His words didn't just inspire him. They activated the law of return. Here's the principle. What you speak into the universe doesn't come back empty. It comes back multiplied. Science has even caught a glimpse of this. Dr. Masaru Emoto's water experiments showed how spoken words affected the molecular structure of water. Positive words created beautiful patterns, while negative words created chaos. If words can shape water, and your body and environment are largely made of water, imagine how much more your finances are influenced. Practical application. Identify the seeds you've been planting. Review your daily speech. Are you sowing words of wealth or words of poverty? Shift your declarations immediately. Replace statements like, money is hard with money flows to me easily. Replace I can't get ahead with I am advancing financially every day. Expect the return. Farmers plant seed expecting harvest. Don't just speak with anticipation that your words must return multiplied. Give your words time. Just like crops don't sprout overnight, neither do financial declarations. Patience and consistency are required. One key truth when you align your words with the law of return: your financial future is no longer left to chance. It becomes predictable. Just as a farmer doesn't wonder whether wheat will come up after sowing wheat, you won't wonder if wealth will come after sowing wealth declarations. It must.